Well, good afternoon, guys. Aaron Dorr here with the New York State Firearms Association, taking a moment to give you guys an update today on the fight for gun rights here in Albany. Behind me is the LOB. It can stand for lots of things. Today it stands for Legislative Offices Building. And guys, this is where the fight for gun rights is actually being carried out in this state. So I pause here for a moment to give you an update on what's happening in this fight. So guys, get signed in. Let us know where you're watching from. Post your questions in the comments section. I'll answer the ones that I have time for that I can read today. We're getting a lot of questions from gun owners, though, about what's actually going on in the fight for gun rights. And more importantly and more directly, what is this organization going to actually do to fight for gun owners? And we're getting a lot of questions on that. And in my opinion, those are very fair questions for gun owners to ask. So we're going to break those down in this video and ask you guys to help share this video on your Facebook page. Let your friends see it. Let them know what's going on in this fight, so you guys know how to take action, and so you know who the hell is actually fighting for gun rights in this state. Because for a long time, it's been abandoned. So as you guys get signed in, I see the numbers are growing here now. I see guys, we got Joe in Buffalo, we got Blaine watching. Wherever you're watching from, guys, let me know. If you can hear me okay, let me know. I'm outside right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. We got William watching right now. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up and we'll kick off this broadcast. I'm going to wait till I get someone to give me a comment or a thumbs up on the audio. And once I get that, I'm going to get going. All right, guys, so what we're hearing, I'm seeing some thumbs up coming in now. Very good. So again, guys, there are some very fair questions that are being asked. I'm going to move here out of the sun, guys. Give me just a moment. Kind of slide over for the sun kind of blinds the camera here. All right, there's a lot of very fair questions being asked. What is this organization going to actually do to fight for gun rights? Because for a long time, ain't no one been doing it. And that's a very fair question to ask. The NRA has taken millions of dollars out of this state from great people, from phenomenal gun owners, and they've done nothing. They've abandoned us, and everybody watching this video knows that. Everyone knows that. So that's obviously a big issue. The Rifle and Pistol Association, they're the ones who are endorsing Cuomo's efforts to ban and regulate 80% lowers. So I'd be mad if I was a donor to that organization. And other organizations where they have good local chapters have not had an actual lobby presence in the Capitol here behind me, the LOB here behind me, the Capitol beside me, in a very long time. So gun rights activists are very right to question what is actually going to be different about this organization. So guys, we're going to break this down in this broadcast, and we want to ask you guys, we want to earn your support to have you guys be involved in this fight. Someone's saying we're having wind noise, so I'm going to have to wait and see if you guys can still hear me okay. It's kind of gusting here from time to time. So the first thing we're doing here, this organization, guys, is we're working to expose the gun control agenda in Albany, okay? So what that means is, for the longest time, there hasn't been organizations in this Capitol who are actually sounding the alarm during session and giving you guys the tools you need to fight back. Specifically, what that means is our online advocacy program has been established and set up so that gun owners, with one click on your phone, can take immediate action opposing gun control. You can do it through pre-written emails, which we've done all the work to draft for you. You can do it through pre-written tweets. If you use Twitter, we've written that for you. We've designed phone call scripts so you can call your lawmakers automatically, all done for you. You can even do a message on your phone, a video message, right to your lawmakers. The sun keeps getting in my way here, using this online advocacy program. So the first thing we're doing, guys, is going to give gun owners the ability to actually re-engage in this fight again. Because for a long time now, the gun grabbers are doing all this stuff in the Capitol and the LOB here behind me, and no one hears about it until we get a periodical in the mail 4 months later, after everything has already happened here in Albany. And so by having an actual presence in the Capitol, in the LOB, making sure gun owners know what's going on, you guys can begin to fight back for your own freedom. And with our online advocacy program, it has never been easier for you to fight back for your own freedom. Thousands of you have already fired off your pre-written emails opposing Senator Sanders' bill, for example, that would impose a communist-style mental health crackdown on gun owners in New York. The bill is designed to force us into a mental health evaluation every time you want to buy a firearm. So just imagine this, a liberal as hell mental health professional, whatever that means, is now going to have the ability to examine you and me and decide if we are good people or not. And who knows what kind of criteria they're going to be allowed to use. Let's just be honest. Everybody knows that political opponents these days think that people who love their guns, who love their country, who love their flag, who love their president, they think we're crazy. They think we're crazy. And this mental health push coming right now from Senator Sanders and from Mr. Albany in the Assembly is a direct attack on gun owners. Folks, this is not a new concept. This was used by people like Stalin, by people like Chairman Mao, by people like Hitler to take political opposition, deem them mentally incompetent, and then deny them their fundamental rights. Whether it was the right to travel, the right to vote, or in some cases, they put you straight in prison. That's the history of this bill. But for most gun owners, you're not being told about this because there hasn't been a presence here in Albany to sound the alarm and encourage you guys to take action when it's time to take action. And those days are done thanks to this organization. We are not going to back down. We're not going to just give up. We're not going to give in. We're going to push back and give you guys the tools you need to push back as well. But as part of that, it's essential that we're not strictly and always operating on a defensive starting point. Sure, it's New York State, it's 2020. It's a terrible time to try to advance for freedom, for the Second Amendment in general. But if we give up, if we're not always trying to be on offense while we're trying to stop the gun control, all we're doing is giving all of the momentum to the crazy, radical, America-hating socialists in this building here behind me. And that's why, in addition to all of our programs, we're working hard to introduce what will be the best self-defense stand your ground law bill that New Yorkers have ever seen. Guys, this bill is going to be incredible. And what it's going to allow us to do as gun owners is have the ability to say, oh, these lawmakers support our gun rights, and these guys here do not. I'm going to move again, guys, to keep hiding from the sun. Give me a moment here to get resituated. Turn the camera here a little bit. To give us a chance to know which of these guys in both conferences, frankly, support our gun rights and which ones don't. But let's be honest, there's a lot of lawmakers who use our Second Amendment freedom as a tool at election time, only to do very little or nothing to actually fight for that here in the Capitol. And that's the problem. So guys, it's going to be an incredible bill draft to allow gun owners to have freedom themselves. You are going to love the guys who we have sponsoring this bill in the Senate chamber, in the Assembly. It is some of the best people who actually fight for gun owners in the building here behind me. You're going to love it. The bill is going to, finally, for heaven's sakes, clarify that there's no need to retreat in your own damn home from a home invader before using lethal, justifiable force. It's going to extend that protection to include any place that you're lawfully allowed to be. So here right now in the Capitol complex, well, I'm probably in a gun-free zone right now, but on the sidewalk behind me, or if I'm in church with my family, or if I'm coming out of the grocery store with my family, or if I'm in my office, or if I'm in my car, any place I'm lawfully allowed to be, this bill would stipulate that I have no requirement to retreat before taking defensive action because I'm lawfully present. Why should I have to retreat? And of course, by phrasing it that way, we also make sure that no thug, no criminal can use this statute, this language, as justification to try to cover his own butt in a criminal court case down the road. But guys, a lot of states have stand your ground law and have that language. What they don't have is a way to actually enforce that protection, to claim that protection. That's why our bill draft is going to stipulate that you can't be arrested for a self-defense shooting unless you've actually broken the law. And that might seem obvious, but as you guys know, it's not. There's a lot of times where a person uses justifiable force in a self-defense situation and he or she is arrested just because. And the idea is, well, the courts will deal with that. Guys, we all know how this works. Your life is ruined even if you're found not guilty. It's horrible. So this bill is going to stipulate that if there's no probable cause you broke the law, that guess what? You can't be arrested. And we're also, more importantly, going to have a built-in pre-trial immunity hearing as part of this statute. And so if the case against you is BS, as we all know it can be in certain jurisdictions, if the case against you is crap, you can go before the judge in a pre-trial process and say, Your Honor, the case against my client or the case against me is crap. And the state has to prove to a clear and convincing threshold that they have a basic case before it actually goes to trial. The point here is to make sure rather that those gun owners who obviously use justifiable force cannot be run through the ringer just because some prosecutor wants to twist a knife in your back. And guys, along with that, we're going to have a civil process there as well. And it's going to stipulate that if you did not use inappropriate force, if you were not convicted in court, or if you were never tried in court for a criminal charge, you could not also then be held liable or be charged rather in civil court. Because we all know how this works, right? Even if you're found not guilty in civil court, you've already lost. You've spent 12 to 18 months. You've spent $100,000, $250,000, whatever the case may be, right, to fight for your gun rights, to fight for your freedom, rather. And so sure, now you've won, but now you're bankrupt. And you're deeply in debt because some thug who attacked you and forced you to defend yourself and your loved ones now went after you again, this time for your money via a civil court action. So we're going to preclude that in this bill. We're also going to cover the threatened use of force. The threatened use of force. Right now, as you guys know, if you so much as draw a firearm in public, hell, if you even refer to the fact that you're armed, if someone's coming at you, that could be grounds for you to be arrested for a menacing charge or a brandishing charge or an assault charge of some sort. That's crap. What we want as gun owners is to be able to display that weapon in a self-defense manner and for that bad guy to say, oh, this guy is armed. I'm not going to attack this guy. I'm going to back down. We want that de-escalation. We want that to be resolved without somebody having to be shot. And so, but again, right now, if we do that in this state, you're going to be held in criminal court because of a brandishing charge. In fact, I met a state senator just yesterday from the edge of the state whose father was arrested because of this very issue, where he had a person who was coming at him and threatening him. And this guy was a 78-year-old gun owner, and he referenced that he had a firearm. He just simply referenced his firearm, and the suspect had him arrested because he mentioned this firearm. That's what happens right now because we don't cover and protect gun owners who reference the threatened use of force. This bill is going to deal with that. Again, I'm moving away here, guys, from the sunlight. It's chasing me around the pavilion here at the Capitol. So this bill, guys, is going to reshape the debate because for the first time in a very long time, we as gun owners are going to have a bill to actually get behind, to actually support. And more importantly then perhaps, we can then see, hey, which lawmakers are on our side? Which lawmakers are willing to walk the walk and not just talk the talk? We know where some of these best guys stand. Where does everybody else stand? I mean, that's not just a way to figure out where the Republicans are. It's a way for us to know, as we approach the elections, where a bunch of these vulnerable Democrats are. And believe me, when we finish our meetings with all our members, we're on to having meetings with those Democrats, especially those in vulnerable seats. And we're going to give them a chance to stand up for the Second Amendment, to stand up for gun owners, or to support a socialist, hostile, America-hating agenda. And by God, they're going to pay a price for that come election time. And guys, that is the next part of our program with this organization. We're not just going to lobby here at the Capitol. We're not just going to expose gun grabbers. We're not just going to give you guys the tools you need to fight back. And we're not just going to meet with lawmakers and advance state your ground law. We're also then going to be right here in these districts at election time, pushing back in these swing seats. that's what we're going to be doing in the fall, because that's what people have to do. We have to be pushing back at election time when it counts. It's not enough to have a newsletter come out, a color magazine come out, 3 or 4 times a year after session is over, after the elections have happened, after it's all done. That doesn't do anything then. We have to fight back as gun owners when it counts. This organization will be heavily focused on spending your donor dollars to expose vulnerable Democrats in targeted seats. No, we're not going to waste any of your money in seats down in New York City. We're going to fight back in areas where it counts. I'm going to move again, guys. I'm going to move a lot. The sun is ticking me off. We're just going to turn way around here. This is the Capitol here behind me, guys. LB is off to the side. Now we're away from the sun for a few minutes. But we're going to fight in districts where it matters when it counts. And that means during the election season, when it actually counts. Because let's just be honest, if a gun rights organization is going to take money from gun owners and they're not going to do a damn thing at the election, why should we give them a dime in the first place? And guys, I've had meetings here for the last couple of weeks now. I work in multiple states, so I'm not here every day, but I've had tons of meetings, dozens of meetings, and all these lawmakers in districts at amendment who's advocating for freedom and who's makers. Those days are done. Those days are done. These people are going to pay a price, especially those in these vulnerable districts this fall. And guys, there's never been a better time. It's 2020. Trump is on the ballot this fall. There are so many lawmakers across the state who won their elections in 2018 without our president on the ballot, who won by 2% or less. And guys, this is our time to fight back and hold these people accountable. If they're not going to pay a price when they attack our freedom with red flag gun seizures, with ridiculous self-defense laws that deny us the right to even have a firearm by our own bedside at night, if they can do all that and we don't push back in their districts, we're totally screwed. We're not worthy of the freedom that our founding fathers gave us. And so we're going to fight, guys, tooth and nail to do that. And again, when it comes time for that, we're not going to do an email one day before the election and say, go vote pro-gun. We're not going to do a full spread, magazine twice a year and say, go vote pro-gun. We're going to be using nasty, and I mean nasty, digital ads in these districts, the most efficient way for us to possibly communicate with our members to be absolutely nasty and efficient when it comes to exposing gun grabbers and their attacks on our freedom in this great state. We basically have to revamp the entire gun rights battle, and by God, we're going to do it with your guys' support. So if you're already a member of our organization, we can't thank you enough. We just fired off t-shirt packets to our donors who got t-shirts with their memberships Monday, and they should be arriving all across the state, I would think today, maybe tomorrow. Membership cards are also in the process, the stream right now. There's a lot going on, though. A lot in the LLB here, but focus our time on what actually matters. So be patient with us on that if you can. And guys, again, cares about this issue and get involved in this fight right now. And the website for that, guys, is joinnysfa.com. Joinnysfa.com. I'm being told the audio is bad again, guys. I should have put a better microphone on top of my camera, and I apologize for that. But guys, this fight for freedom doesn't end. It's not going to stop if as these guys will always come back for more. They're always going to try to attack more and more of our freedom. I'm going to try to turn out of the wind here. There's always more freedom we can lose. There's always more they can do to us. There's always more ground that we can lose. This mental health gun control bill, that's just one example. There's also bills that would require $1 million insurance liability policy for every firearm that you own. There's always more these evil people can do to our firearms and to our freedom. And if we don't push back now, guys, they're only going to do more and more and more. I realize a lot of gun guys across the state right now are jaded and pissed off. You should be. All these organizations before have taken all of your money and done nothing, or little, if anything. No one is pushing back at election time, and we all know it. Nobody is pushing back even during session. I've talked with dozens of lawmakers and their staff over the last couple of weeks, and they every single one of them tells me, well, man, it's just nice to have a pro-gun lobbyist in our office. It's nice to have a pro-gun presence in our office who's actually telling us what to do on guns and telling us what bills to oppose. It hasn't happened for a very long time because the other organizations have gone asleep or they have not fought back. And that's why we're losing freedom at a rapid pace. Those days are done. Those days are done with this organization. So guys, if you want to get involved in this fight, now is the time. Now is the time. There's a link above this video. It's there right now. It's a pre-written email. It goes right to your lawmakers in the Assembly, in the Senate chamber, telling them to oppose this mental health Stalin-esque style gun control bill. You can do emails. You can do messages on Twitter. You can do phone calls. It's all automatic. Punch in your information and hit send, and it goes. And it's an instantaneous process. So guys, make your voice heard that way. If you want to get involved as a member, we'd be honored to have you. Join NYSFA.com. And guys, do me a favor and share far and wide. Let everyone know there's a fight underway again in Albany when it comes to our. Have a great day. More to